The enduring wisdom of modern Stoicism, a guide to resilience and fulfillment. In a world perpetually clamoring for our attention, filled with anxieties and uncertainties, the ancient philosophy of Stoicism offers a surprisingly relevant and potent antidote to modern woes. These timeless principles, when adapted and applied to our contemporary lives, provide a roadmap for navigating challenges, cultivating inner peace, and achieving a profound sense of fulfillment. This essay delves into the heart of modern Stoicism, exploring life lessons drawn from both classic Stoic texts and contemporary interpretations, all synthesized to offer practical strategies for solving a significant portion of life's inevitable problems, aiming for a transformative impact and a life rich in meaning and resilience. The core of Stoicism lies in the understanding that while we cannot control external events, we possess complete dominion over our internal responses. This fundamental principle, eloquently articulated by Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, forms the bedrock of a life lived with intention and purpose. By focusing on what we can control, our thoughts, actions, and judgments, we liberate ourselves from the tyranny of external circumstances and cultivate an inner fortress of tranquility, capable of weathering the storms of life. Embracing honesty, the foundation of authentic connection. Honesty, often perceived as a virtue and a cornerstone of strong character, is not merely a moral imperative in modern Stoicism, but a strategic tool for building meaningful relationships and fostering self-awareness. While it may not always win us popularity, it acts as a powerful filter, attracting individuals who value truth and authenticity over superficial pleasantries. As Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, wisely advised, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. This profound statement transcends mere philosophical musing. It serves as a call to action, urging us to embody the virtues we admire rather than endlessly debating their merits. Cultivating honesty in our lives begins with an unflinching self-assessment. We must be willing to confront our flaws, acknowledge our limitations, and accept ourselves for who we are, imperfections and all. This rigorous self-honesty forms the foundation for genuine growth and allows us to align our actions with our values, creating a life of integrity and purpose. Furthermore, honesty extends beyond our internal landscape to encompass our interactions with others. While tact and empathy are essential in navigating social dynamics, we must strive to communicate our thoughts and feelings with clarity and sincerity. This does not necessitate bluntness or insensitivity, but rather a commitment to truthfulness, even when it may be uncomfortable. Such honesty fosters trust and transparency in our relationships, creating a space for genuine connection and mutual understanding. The perils of comparison, charting your own course. In an age dominated by social media, where carefully curated glimpses of other people's lives are constantly presented as flawless realities, the temptation to compare ourselves to others is ever present. However, modern Stoicism cautions against this destructive habit, reminding us that comparing our journey to someone else's is akin to sabotaging our own happiness. Each individual walks a unique path, fraught with unseen battles and personal challenges. To envy others' perceived success is to diminish our own accomplishments and to disregard the inherent value of our own experiences. Instead of succumbing to the allure of comparison, Stoicism encourages us to focus on our own progress and to measure our success against our own potential. This requires a shift in perspective from external validation to internal growth. By setting our own goals, pursuing our own passions, and striving to become the best version of ourselves, we liberate ourselves from the constraints of societal expectations and embrace the freedom of self-determination. Seneca's wisdom echoes this sentiment. It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor. This potent observation highlights the insatiable nature of desire and the futility of seeking fulfillment through external possessions or achievements. True contentment lies not in acquiring more, but in appreciating what we already have and in cultivating a sense of gratitude for the blessings in our lives. Emotional independence, mastering the self. Emotional independence, a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy, underscores the importance of self-reliance and inner fortitude. Recognizing that people change, circumstances fluctuate, and relationships evolve, Stoicism encourages us to cultivate a sense of contentment that is not dependent on external validation or approval. As Epictetus, the former slave turned philosopher, so eloquently stated, "No man is free who is not a master of himself." This powerful declaration highlights the inextricable link between self-mastery and personal freedom. Cultivating emotional independence requires a conscious effort to detach our happiness from external sources. Instead of seeking validation from others, we must learn to validate ourselves, recognizing our own inherent worth and celebrating our own accomplishments. This involves developing a strong sense of self-awareness, understanding our emotions, and learning to manage them effectively. By cultivating inner peace and self-reliance, we become less vulnerable to the whims of external circumstances and more resilient in the face of adversity. Furthermore, emotional independence empowers us to form healthier relationships based on mutual respect and genuine connection, rather than dependency or neediness. When we are secure in ourselves, we are better equipped to offer love and support to others without sacrificing our own well-being. This creates a dynamic of reciprocity and mutual growth, fostering relationships that are both fulfilling and sustainable. Sharing progress, not goals, the power of internal motivation. In a world obsessed with broadcasting achievements and seeking external validation, modern Stoicism offers a counterintuitive yet profoundly liberating principle. Share your progress, not your goals. This approach recognizes the power of internal motivation and the importance of maintaining a sense of personal ownership over our journey. When we publicly declare our goals, we inadvertently subject ourselves to external pressure and expectations. This can lead to anxiety, self-doubt, and a diminished sense of intrinsic motivation. Moreover, sharing our goals with others can create a false sense of accomplishment, leading us to believe that we have already taken significant steps toward achieving them, even if we have only just begun. By contrast, sharing our progress allows us to celebrate our accomplishments without compromising our internal drive. It provides an opportunity to reflect on our journey, to acknowledge our growth, and to reinforce our commitment to our goals. Furthermore, sharing our progress with others can inspire and motivate them, creating a positive ripple effect that extends beyond our own lives. Discerning companions, protecting your inner sanctuary. Modern Stoicism emphasizes the importance of carefully selecting the individuals we allow into our lives. Recognizing that our time and energy are valuable resources, we must be discerning in choosing our companions, surrounding ourselves with those who uplift, support, and inspire us. People who demand the most from us are often those who contribute the least to our lives. These individuals may drain our energy, diminish our self-worth, and hinder our personal growth. Stoicism encourages us to recognize these toxic relationships and to distance ourselves from them, prioritizing our own well-being and protecting our inner sanctuary. Walking alone is often preferable to walking in poor company. This does not imply that we should isolate ourselves from others, but rather that we should prioritize quality over quantity in our relationships. It is better to have a few trustworthy and supportive friends than a multitude of shallow and draining acquaintances. Embracing fear, a signal of engagement. Fear, often perceived as an obstacle to overcome, can actually serve as a valuable signal of engagement with life. It indicates that we care deeply about something and that we are willing to step outside our comfort zone to pursue it. Instead of allowing fear to paralyze us, modern Stoicism encourages us to embrace it as a motivator, pushing us to confront our discomfort and to grow beyond our limitations. Seneca's words resonate deeply in this context. He who is brave is free. This potent statement underscores the inextricable link between courage and freedom. True courage does not lie in the absence of fear, but in the determination to face it head-on. By confronting our fears, we break free from their constraints and unlock our full potential. Temporary émotion, permanent décision, cultivating rationality. One of the greatest Stoic secrets lies in the ability to avoid making permanent decisions based on temporary emotions. In the heat of the moment, it is easy to act impulsively, only to regret our actions later. Whether in relationships, career choices, or daily challenges, taking a step back and allowing ourselves time to cool down can prevent us from making rash decisions that we may later regret. This principle requires cultivating a sense of self-awareness and emotional regulation. We must be able to recognize when our emotions are running high and to resist the urge to act impulsively. Taking a deep breath, stepping away from the situation, or seeking the counsel of a trusted friend can provide the necessary space to regain perspective and to make a more rational decision. The pedestal paradox, maintaining dignity and self-respect. Placing someone on a pedestal invariably leads to disappointment. When we elevate others above ourselves, we create an imbalance of power that undermines our own dignity and self-respect. This principle applies to all types of relationships, whether romantic, platonic, or professional. True strength comes from maintaining our sense of self-worth and integrity, regardless of the opinions or actions of others. We must recognize our own inherent value and refuse to compromise our principles for the sake of approval or acceptance. As Epictetus wisely observed, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This powerful reminder highlights the importance of taking responsibility for our own emotions and reactions, rather than blaming others for our unhappiness. The power of silence, wisdom, and restraint. In today's fast-paced world, where we are constantly bombarded with information and pressure to voice our opinions, the Stoic principle of the power of silence offers a refreshing alternative. Just because something comes to mind does not mean it needs to be said. There is wisdom in knowing when to hold our tongue and to choose our words with intention and care. Light travels faster than sound, which is why some people appear brilliant until they speak. This humorous observation underscores the importance of thoughtful reflection and careful consideration before expressing our thoughts. By being measured in our speech and intentional with our words, we demonstrate respect for ourselves and for others, and we contribute to a more meaningful and productive dialogue. Owning your legacy, the responsibility to your present self. As we age, it becomes increasingly clear that the only person we owe anything to is our present self. Our younger selves, full of dreams and idealism, did the best they could with the knowledge and resources they had at the time. However, it is our present self who has the responsibility to shape our future and to create a life of meaning and purpose. Taking care of our body and mind is an integral part of this responsibility. The Stoics believed that the body is a vessel for the mind, and neglecting it weakens our capacity for rational thought and action. Exercise, rest, and proper nutrition are not merely modern concepts. They were integral to the ancient Stoic practice of self-discipline. Overthinking, the thief of joy. Overthinking, one of the greatest thieves of joy, can sabotage even the most serene mind. The Stoic philosophy teaches us to approach life with a clear and calm mindset, focusing on what we can control and accepting what we cannot. Most of the problems we create are not due to the situations themselves, but to our reactions to them. Epictetus reminds us that we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. The next time we find ourselves spiraling into unnecessary worry, we should pause and ask ourselves, will this matter in 10 years? Chances are it won't. Instead, we should focus on what truly matters: our health, our relationships, and our inner peace. Nurturing the vessel, the importance of physical and mental well-being. One of the core principles of modern Stoicism is the recognition that we only get one body, and it will carry us through our entire life. This body is both incredibly resilient and incredibly fragile, and we are responsible for nurturing it through proper care, both physically and mentally. Just as we would not allow a car to fall into disrepair, we must also ensure that our body is maintained. Exercise, rest, and nutrition are not just modern concepts. They were part of the ancient Stoic practice of self-discipline. The foundation of good life is a healthy mind and a healthy body, and this remains as true today as it was then. The illusion of control, accepting the unpredictable. One of the most liberating truths of modern Stoicism is understanding that we have no control over what others think or do. What we do have control over is how we spend our time today. The past is gone, and the future is uncertain, but the present is in our hands. We should not waste time comparing our behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel. Everyone has struggles, but what sets us apart is our response to them. Just because we miss someone or something from our past does not mean we need it back in our life. Missing is simply part of the process of moving forward. The values of true partnership beyond superficiality. When choosing a partner, it is natural to be drawn to their appearance first. Beauty is a part of human nature. However, over time, we begin to realize that looks alone will not raise our children, build a life with us, or provide emotional support in times of hardship. What will make a difference are their values, principles, and the foundation upon which they build their life. As the Stoic principles remind us, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. We cannot have it all. Everything in life comes with a trade-off. We exchange one thing for another, and this applies to relationships, careers, and even daily decisions. It is the quality of those exchanges that determines the quality of our lives. Identifying true friends, honesty, and loyalty. One essential rule for navigating relationships is to observe who speaks well of you behind your back and who has the courage to be honest with you to your face. These are the people who are your true friends, and they're the ones who will stand by you not just during the good times, but also through the storms. The liberating power of letting go, creating space for growth. Letting go is one of the hardest things to do, but it is also one of the most liberating. When we let go of things that no longer serve us, be it a toxic relationship, a failed dream, or a lingering fear, we create space for growth. The more we practice letting go, the more fearless we become. Fear has a way of shrinking our world and our possibilities, but each small victory over fear makes the next challenge easier to face. As the saying goes, courage is not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. Prioritizing your peace, discerning relationships. If you allow someone to make you feel like you're only an option while you make them a priority, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. Remember this important Stoic rule. If you try to be a friend to everyone, you risk being an enemy to yourself. Protect your peace and be discerning in your relationships. The wisdom of listening, observing before speaking. There's a reason you were born with 2 ears and 1 mouth. Use them in that proportion. The Stoic philosophers taught the importance of listening more than speaking, of gathering wisdom before sharing it. The world will show you more through action than words, so learn to observe people by their deeds. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." Life is constantly evolving, and you will live many lives within your one lifetime. Each phase brings its own lessons, and the more you accept change, the easier life becomes. The power of optimism, recognizing good. Recognizing the good in others and seeing life through a lens of optimism is one of the most powerful Stoic principles for personal growth. Life, much like nature, follows a rhythm that you cannot control. You may cut all the flowers, but you cannot stop spring from coming. This metaphor reminds us that no matter how hard we try to hold on to things, change is inevitable. Instead of resisting, embrace the flow of life and let people's actions speak louder than their words. The trail of dots, connecting the past to the future. Everything you do creates a trail of dots that at first may not make sense, but as you progress in life, you'll begin to see how all those dots connect, giving you insight into why you made certain choices and how they shaped your journey. Commitment gets you started, consistency keeps you going, and persistence ensures you reach your goals. It's important to remember that love is not something you experience just once. You can fall in love more than once, and if someone leaves, it's often for the best. As hard as it may be to accept, the departure of a loved one doesn't diminish your worth or your ability to find happiness again. If someone is trying to bring you down, it's only because they see you above them, and instead of letting their negativity consume you, use it as fuel to rise even higher. The weight of promises, the value of integrity. Promises should never be made lightly. What may seem insignificant to you could mean the world to someone else. The consequences of broken promises go far beyond the moment. They can damage trust and relationships irreparably. Going back to a past relationship is like putting on dirty clothes after a fresh shower. It makes no sense and does nothing for your growth. Instead, keep an open mind, act like an artist, but think, fail, and learn like a scientist. Your purpose is not found somewhere else. It's created right where you stand. Creating meaning, action, and mindset. Stoic rules teach us that meaning is not something to be searched for, but something we must bring into our lives through our actions and mindset. One of the most powerful realizations in life is that everything can change in an instant. Gratitude is the antidote to complacency. When you appreciate what you have now, you're more likely to use it to do good, to grow, and to build a meaningful life. True wealth comes not from accumulating material possessions, but from seeking out new experiences. As the Stoics believed, he who is content with little is rich, and the richness of life is measured by the quality of your thoughts and actions. Action breeds more clarity than thought. So if you want to change your life, start by taking action, not just thinking about it. The life you experience is a reflection of your mindset. Chasing happiness will only lead you to misery until you realize that happiness is not a destination, but a way of living. All you have is the present moment, so make the most of it. The present moment, a precious gift. The Stoics often said, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. Every moment is a gift. Treat it as such. It's wise to ask for advice, but it's even wiser to know who to seek it from. The people you surround yourself with will influence your mindset, so choose carefully. If there's one thing you can drop to immediately improve your life, let it be your ego. The more grateful you are, the more beauty you will see in the world around you. Gratitude transforms the mundane into something extraordinary, and the more generous life will seem. You won't forget some of the bad things that have happened to you, but with time, you'll stop caring as much. Success is not about how much you have, but how resourceful you are with what you've got. Overcoming fear, conquering limitations. Fear is one of the most limiting forces in life. It seeps into our decisions and holds us back from reaching our full potential. But as the Stoic rule states, you must face fear, conquer it, and celebrate every victory. You cannot swim toward new horizons unless you are willing to lose sight of the shore. It's never too late to do the things you've always wanted to do. Don't let other people's insecurities or doubts become your own. People will always project their limitations onto you, but building a shield against this noise will protect your peace. In the end, the lessons are clear. Be honest with yourself and others. Cultivate meaningful relationships. Embrace change, and live with gratitude. These are the Stoic principles that will not only solve a significant portion of your problems, but also lead you to a life of inner peace and fulfillment. What is one step you can take today to live more intentionally and apply these Stoic rules in your life? The unfolding story. Embracing the narrative of your life. You don't owe anyone the full story of your past, because only you can truly understand the depth and meaning behind your experiences. Sharing your past with the wrong people might lead to misunderstandings or worse. They may use it against you. But remember, your past does not define your future. Tomorrow could be completely different from today if you make the choice to move forward. Marcus Aurelius reminds us in his Meditations, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. If you spend today focusing on what's not working and crying over it, you're ensuring that tomorrow will be just as bleak. But if you embrace change, No matter how difficult, your life can shift dramatically. Navigating the unexpected, trusting the journey. Sometimes life feels like it's spinning out of control, as if the world is trying to tell you who you should be. If you never stop to reflect, if you never pause to listen to what life is teaching you, you will miss those vital lessons that could guide you in a new direction. Things don't always go according to plan, and while that can be frustrating, it's often for the best. There will be moments of loss, but your true friends will become clear. Stoic lessons teach us that it's during these low points, when you feel most vulnerable, that you discover who is really in your corner. You'll realize that walking away from unhealthy relationships or toxic environments is sometimes the best path forward. As the Stoics believed, the only way out is through. There are no shortcuts, only the hard-earned growth that comes from facing life head-on. Resilience and inner strength, overcoming adversity. You are far stronger than you give yourself credit for. Think about it. You have survived every bad day you've ever had. No matter how difficult things got, you are still here, undefeated. This resilience is a core teaching in Stoicism, one that Marcus Aurelius often emphasized. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Your strength doesn't come from avoiding hardship, but from confronting it and overcoming it. At the end of the day, nobody is going to look out for you the way you will. This is why it's so important to cultivate inner strength, to learn how to rely on yourself, and to trust that you have the ability to get through whatever life throws your way. Life may not always be fair, but it is constantly teaching us if we are willing to listen. What are the lessons life is trying to teach you right now? Are you stuck in the past, focusing on what didn't work? Or are you ready to embrace the unknown and trust that something better is on the horizon? Reframing obstacles, opportunities for growth. Remember, the obstacles in your life are not there to defeat you. They're there to teach you how to rise above. The Stoic approach to life teaches us that we can't control external events, but we can control how we respond to them. So take a moment today to reflect on how far you've come, how many challenges you've already overcome, and use that as fuel to face whatever comes next. In the end, the value of these Stoic principles lies in their practicality. They help you navigate the ups and downs of life with a calm, steady mindset. You don't need to worry about what others think or dwell on the past. Focus on the present, control what you can, and trust that your future will unfold as it's meant to. Life won't always go according to plan, and that's okay. What's most important is that you keep going, learn from your experiences, and stay true to yourself. Conquering fear and embracing motivation, stepping stones to the future. Facing your fears is often the first and most important step in overcoming them. The truth is, things are rarely as hard as you imagine, and once you confront them, they tend to shrink in the face of your courage. As Seneca once said, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. It's a reminder that our minds often exaggerate challenges, making them appear larger than they truly are. Difficulties are not just obstacles. They can be the seeds of miracles, pushing us toward growth and unexpected victories. The key to overcoming adversity is belief in yourself, because as Theodore Roosevelt wisely put it, believe you can, and you're halfway there. Not everyone you encounter will have your best interests at heart, and learning to navigate that reality is crucial. But it's in the moments when you feel least motivated, when life feels heavy, that your greatest strides can be made. Those are the days when showing up matters the most, when the discipline to keep going becomes your superpower. Focusing on what you can control, becoming unshakable. Modern Stoicism emphasizes the importance of focusing on what you can control, your feelings, your actions, and your thoughts. Trying to change others or the circumstances around you is a futile pursuit. It's almost always a losing battle. True power lies in controlling your own responses. And in this, you become unshakable. Hardships have a way of transforming ordinary people into extraordinary individuals. This truth resonates deeply with the Stoic idea that adversity is a forge that sharpens your character. Embracing your struggles as stepping stones to your future gives meaning to the pain. The future belongs to those who dare to dream and who believe in the beauty of those dreams. But remember, sometimes we can only find our true path by letting go of rigid plans and allowing the winds of change to guide us. Modern Stoicism teaches that flexibility is not a weakness but a strength. The inevitability of pain, the optionality of suffering. You should never sacrifice your personal growth for the sake of anyone else. Pain is inevitable in life, but suffering, how you choose to react to that pain, is optional. As the Stoics would say, what stands in the way becomes the way. Your obstacles aren't just there to stop you. They're the very things that will strengthen your mind and lead you to success. You are far braver than you give yourself credit for, stronger than you seem, and much smarter than you think. Trust in yourself, because you've already survived so much, and you will continue to survive whatever comes your way. Life's challenges don't block your path. They're your path. Honesty as a rare gift. Integrity and long-term success. One of the most valuable Stoic lessons is the importance of honesty. It's a rare and expensive gift, so don't expect it from cheap people. Those who operate without integrity may seem to win in the short term, but in the long run, it's those who live by their principles who find true peace and lasting success. In modern life, we are constantly bombarded by external pressures and distractions, but the Stoic way teaches us that the only thing we truly control is ourselves. Your strength lies in your ability to manage your thoughts and emotions, to focus on what you can do today to move closer to your goals. When you face fear and adversity head-on, you discover an iron mind within yourself, a mind that cannot be broken by external circumstances. Embracing patience and kindness, the path to wisdom. When patience pays off, you often look back and realize the waiting wasn't as long or as painful as it once seemed. That's the power of time and perspective. The first step in mastering patience is learning to be kind to yourself. As the Stoic principle teaches us, you cannot love or understand others until you have learned to love and understand yourself. When we experience pain, it's easy to focus on the discomfort, but pain isn't there to simply cause suffering. It's a teacher. Every challenge we face carries a lesson, and it's through these lessons that we grow. Think about the times in your life when poor judgment led to mistakes. Those mistakes weren't failures. They were opportunities to learn. Good judgment is the fruit of experience, and experience is often born from bad decisions. Stoic rules remind us that our past, no matter how painful or full of errors, should not limit our future potential. There are no real limits to what you can achieve, except those you create in your own mind. The boundaries we often see are self-imposed, and as the Stoics teach, we must confront life's challenges head-on rather than wishing them away. The practice of letting go, an ongoing process. Letting go isn't something you do once and move on. It's a practice, something you must do every day. Letting go of the past, negative emotions, or failed plans allows you to move forward. This is an ongoing process, and sometimes the hardest part of letting go is accepting that you need to do it over and over again. In life, there comes a point where you have to decide whether to turn the page, write a new chapter, or close the book entirely. It's about knowing when to continue, when to change course, and when to let go. Courage, perhaps the greatest of all virtues, is what enables us to face adversity, to grow, and to act in accordance with our values. Without courage, all other virtues fade because it is the foundation that allows consistency in action, transcending deceit, responding with integrity. In the world we live in, many people will deceive you if given the chance. That's just human nature. But as the Stoics would remind us, it's not about the deceit of others. It's about how you respond. Life's challenges don't drown us because they exist. They drown us when we stay stuck in them. Life is inherently risky, and the only risk you should avoid at all costs is doing nothing. Fear of failure or rejection often paralyzes us, but doing nothing guarantees stagnation. Every risk we take holds the potential for growth. As Epictetus once said, "It is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows." Every new chapter of your life will demand a new version of you, a version that's learned from past challenges and is willing to grow into the future. Taking action and trusting the process, building momentum. Modern Stoicism teaches us that you don't need to see the whole staircase, just the first step. Taking that first step is the hardest, but once you do, momentum builds and progress follows. Have faith in your ability to take action, even if you don't know exactly where it will lead. Stoic principles remind us that life is short, and waiting for the perfect moment often results in missed opportunities. You deserve the life you want. Don't let anyone make you feel like you're not worthy of your desires and goals. You are stronger than you know, and the journey you're on, with all its challenges, is shaping you into the person you're meant to become. The most important skill in life isn't about avoiding failure, but learning how to fall and rise again. Stoic lessons remind us that it's within adversity that we find our strength. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This teaches us that the challenges you face aren't there to stop you. They are there to shape you. The power of forgiveness, healing, and moving forward. One of the most valuable lessons in life is that healing happens at the pace of our forgiveness. Holding on to grudges only keeps you stuck, while forgiveness allows you to move forward and grow. As Seneca, one of the great Stoic philosophers, said, "To be angry is to punish oneself for the mistakes of others." In modern Stoicism, we are reminded that a little foolishness can help you enjoy life, but a little wisdom is what protects you from making choices that cause harm in the long run. Happiness doesn't come from living a life free of problems. True happiness is found in how well you can manage and overcome them. One of the greatest acts of courage you can perform is stepping out of your past, freeing yourself from old stories and mistakes, and allowing yourself to live the life you've always dreamed of. Life demands balance. You can't take from it without giving something back in return. By applying these Stoic secrets, you gain the clarity to focus on what truly matters and strengthen your mind to face whatever comes next. Maturity and the power of purpose. Taking control of your life. Maturity begins when you stop complaining about the things that go wrong and start making changes to improve your life. It's the moment when you realize that excuses only hold you back, and instead of waiting for life to happen, you start taking control of it. Some goodbyes, no matter how difficult, are necessary because they set you free. Modern Stoicism emphasizes this as one of the key principles. Purpose gives life meaning, and when you align with that purpose, you don't need to be pushed. The universe changes. Our life is what our thoughts make it. Life starts to change for the better when we accept that we don't have to have all the answers. It's liberating to admit that not knowing everything is okay. In fact, it's in our moments of uncertainty that we grow the most. This realization allows us to focus on being present and kind to others. Persistence may sometimes bear bitter fruit, but it's through these experiences that we learn to let go of parts of ourselves that no longer serve us. Navigating life's obstacles, finding new ways around. Obstacles, much like the walls we encounter in life, aren't meant to stop us, as the Stoic principle teaches. They're opportunities for us to figure out new ways around or through them. If you encounter a wall, don't turn back. Figure out how to climb it, break through it, or work around it. This is how you build an iron mind capable of facing life's toughest challenges with resilience and creativity. The first step toward getting somewhere different in life is deciding that you won't stay where you are. Change begins with a decision. Sometimes the hardest lessons in life are learning which bridges to cross and which to burn. Not every path is meant for you, and learning to let go of the wrong ones is a crucial part of personal growth. Pay attention to life's lessons, because they often arrive when you are ready to hear them. It's when we stop avoiding our emotions and face them directly that we grow stronger and happier in the long run. Guarding your thoughts and actions, the power of gratefulness. Guard your thoughts when you're alone and be mindful of your words when you're with others. If you don't spend your time and energy on yourself, others will happily spend it for you. Be grateful for what you already have, even as you pursue new goals. As we learn from life, wishing for things to be different doesn't make it so. Action does. We spend so much time wishing things would change, but real change only comes from within and from the choices we make. It's also important to remember that sometimes you simply won't fit in, no matter how hard you try, and that's perfectly okay. It's better to be alone and true to yourself than to compromise your values to fit into places or with people who aren't meant for you. Every journey has its final day, but don't rush the process. Life is not a race. When one door closes, another opens, but too often we spend so much time looking at the door that closed that we miss the opportunities ahead. Always trust your instincts, even when others doubt you. Your gut feeling is often more reliable than external opinions. Don't take people for granted because you never know when they could be gone. The people of your life are your most precious assets, and you won't truly understand how much they mean to you until they're no longer there. Never back down from a real challenge, because it's within those challenges that life's greatest lessons are found. One of the hardest lessons in life is learning not to cry because something is over, but to smile because it happened. Sometimes losing everything is the only way to discover who you truly are. Be careful with your kindness, because while it's important to be generous, there are people who will take advantage of it. You can either be the victim of your circumstances or rise as the hero of your own story. The choice is yours. As you move forward in your journey, remember that your future is shaped by how well you understand your past and learn from it. Conclusion: the Stoic path to a meaningful life. In conclusion, the lessons of modern Stoicism not only help us solve a significant portion of life's problems, but they also teach us to grow and become more resilient in the face of challenges. Every hardship you face isn't an obstacle, but an opportunity to discover your inner strength and build an iron mind that stands firm in the face of adversity. It's not about what happens to you, but how you choose to respond. Life may not be perfect, but you have the power to decide who you will become, how you will overcome obstacles, and how you will pursue your goals. Every challenge contains valuable lessons, and sometimes letting go of the old opens new doors. Don't just sit and hope for things to change. Take action, because only action can change reality. Happiness doesn't come from getting more, but from appreciating what's already yours. These lessons don't just help you live better. They help you understand yourself and find peace in any situation. Remember, every challenge contains valuable lessons, and sometimes letting go of the old opens new doors. Your future is shaped by the choices you make today. So are you ready to apply these Stoic principles to your life? By embracing the wisdom of Stoicism and integrating its practical principles into our daily lives, we can cultivate resilience, navigate challenges with grace, and ultimately achieve a life of profound fulfillment. The journey toward the Stoic life is not a destination, but a continuous process of self-improvement, demanding constant vigilance, self-reflection, and a commitment to living in accordance with virtue. By internalizing these principles and embodying them in our actions, we can transform ourselves into individuals of unwavering strength, unwavering compassion, and unwavering purpose. The power of self-reflection, unveiling inner wisdom. Self-reflection, a critical component of the Stoic practice, involves systematically examining our thoughts, actions, and emotions to gain deeper insights into ourselves and our motivations. This process allows us to identify areas where we may be falling short of our ideals and to make conscious adjustments to align our behavior with our values. Journaling can be a powerful tool for self-reflection. By regularly recording our thoughts and experiences, we create a tangible record of our journey, allowing us to track our progress, identify patterns, and gain a more objective perspective on our lives. Furthermore, meditation, a practice of cultivating mindfulness and awareness, can enhance our ability to observe our thoughts and emotions without judgment, enabling us to respond to them with greater clarity and equanimity. Living in accordance with virtue, the guiding principle. Virtue, in the Stoic context, refers to the pursuit of moral excellence and the embodiment of qualities such as wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance. Living in accordance with virtue is the ultimate goal of Stoicism, and it serves as the guiding principle for all our actions. By striving to cultivate virtue in our lives, we create a sense of inner harmony and purpose, aligning ourselves with the natural order of the universe. This alignment brings a sense of peace and fulfillment that transcends external circumstances, allowing us to weather the storms of life with unwavering resilience. The importance of continuous learning, expanding our understanding. Modern Stoicism recognizes the importance of continuous learning and the expansion of our understanding. By actively seeking knowledge and engaging with diverse perspectives, we broaden our horizons, challenge our assumptions, and refine our judgment. Reading, attending lectures, engaging in thoughtful conversations, and exploring new experiences are all valuable ways to expand our understanding of the world and our place within it. This continuous learning process not only enriches our lives, but also enhances our ability to navigate complex situations and to make informed decisions. Embracing discomfort, the catalyst for growth. Growth often occurs outside our comfort zone, and modern Stoicism encourages us to embrace discomfort as a catalyst for personal development. By intentionally exposing ourselves to challenging situations, we stretch our capabilities, build resilience, and expand our capacity for dealing with adversity. This may involve taking on new responsibilities, pursuing challenging goals, or confronting our fears head-on. While it may be uncomfortable in the moment, embracing discomfort ultimately leads to greater self-confidence, self-reliance, and personal fulfillment. The value of simplicity, finding contentment in less. In a society that often equates happiness with material possessions and external validation, modern Stoicism offers a refreshing counterpoint, emphasizing the value of simplicity and the importance of finding contentment in less. By simplifying our lives, decluttering our physical and mental spaces, and focusing on what truly matters, we create a sense of peace and spaciousness that allows us to appreciate the beauty of the present moment. This shift in perspective can lead to greater gratitude, reduced stress, and a more profound sense of fulfillment. The power of gratitude, appreciating the present. Gratitude, a key element of Stoic practice, involves consciously appreciating the blessings in our lives, both big and small. By focusing on what we have rather than what we lack, we cultivate a sense of contentment and joy that transcends external circumstances. Taking time each day to reflect on the things we are grateful for, expressing our appreciation to others, and practicing mindfulness can all enhance our ability to experience gratitude. This simple practice can have a profound impact on our overall well-being, fostering a sense of optimism, resilience, and inner peace. Cultivating compassion, extending empathy to others. Compassion, the ability to understand and empathize with the suffering of others, is a virtue that is highly valued in modern Stoicism. By cultivating compassion, we connect with others on a deeper level, fostering a sense of community and shared humanity. This may involve volunteering our time, donating to charitable causes, or simply offering a listening ear to someone in need. By extending empathy and kindness to others, we not only alleviate their suffering, but also enrich our own lives, creating a more meaningful and fulfilling existence. Accepting impermanence, embracing the flow of life. Impermanence, the understanding that everything in life is subject to change, is a fundamental principle of Stoicism. By accepting the impermanent nature of all things, we can liberate ourselves from the attachment and fear that often lead to suffering. This does not mean that we should not value the things in our lives, but rather that we should appreciate them for what they are, knowing that they will eventually change or fade away. By embracing the flow of life and accepting the inevitability of change, we can cultivate a sense of peace and equanimity that transcends external circumstances. The importance of ethical conduct, aligning actions with values. Ethical conduct, acting in accordance with our values and principles, is essential for living a virtuous and fulfilling life. Modern Stoicism emphasizes the importance of integrity, honesty, and fairness in all our interactions, both personal and professional. By striving to act ethically in all situations, We build a reputation for trustworthiness and integrity, fostering strong relationships and earning the respect of others. Furthermore, ethical conduct aligns our actions with our values, creating a sense of inner harmony and purpose that transcends external rewards. Navigating relationships with wisdom and compassion, fostering meaningful connections. Relationships are an essential part of the human experience, and modern Stoicism offers valuable insights for navigating them with wisdom and compassion. By cultivating empathy, practicing active listening, and communicating with honesty and respect, we can foster meaningful connections that enrich our lives. Furthermore, Stoicism reminds us that we cannot control the actions of others, but we can control our responses. By focusing on our own behavior and maintaining our integrity, we can navigate challenging relationships with greater grace and resilience. The role of Stoicism in the modern world, finding purpose and resilience. In a world often characterized by uncertainty, anxiety, and superficiality, the principles of modern Stoicism offer a powerful antidote, providing a framework for finding purpose, cultivating resilience, and living a life of meaning and fulfillment. By embracing the wisdom of the ancient Stoics and adapting their teachings to our contemporary lives, we can navigate challenges with greater equanimity, foster meaningful connections with others, and ultimately create a life that is both fulfilling and virtuous. The path of Stoicism is not a quick fix, but a lifelong journey of self-improvement and the pursuit of moral excellence. It is a journey well worth undertaking, for it leads to a life of unwavering strength, unwavering compassion, and unwavering purpose. The journey toward a Stoic life is not a destination, but a continuous process of self-improvement, demanding constant vigilance, self-reflection, and a commitment to living in accordance with virtue. By internalizing these principles and embodying them in our actions, we can transform ourselves into individuals of unwavering strength, unwavering compassion, and unwavering purpose. Through embracing this ancient wisdom, we can navigate the complexities of the modern world with greater clarity, resilience, and a profound sense of inner peace.